I have been deep diving into VBACs, and the way your incision was made from your C-section is super critical into like what your eligibility is for a VBAC. And there's three types of incisions, and I didn't know any of this, so you could look it up, but I'm going to save you a little Google. There's also three things to keep in mind here. So one, the main concern with a VBAC is uterine rupture, and that is the concern that your uterus is going to rip at the scar tissue when you're in labor, or I mean, I guess it could happen at any point, but main concern here, at least right now, what I'm concerned about is it ripping in labor. That is like a very low chance depending on your type of incision. Second thing to keep in mind is the incision, like the scar you see on the outside might not match the scar on the inside. And the third thing is it should tell you in the report from like your surgery, from your first C-section, there should be a note of the type of uterine incision you have. So the three incisions, the first one is a low-lying transverse incision. This is what I have. So it's like right at my bikini line, it's low, it's kind of jack-o'-lantern-y because it was an emergency C-section, but it's a low-lying and it is across on both what I see and on the inside, straight across. This is, I think, the most common from what I've read, and your chance of having a uterine rupture is less than 1%. This type of incision makes you the best candidate for a VBAC. Next is a low vertical incision, so that's going to go up and down, but it's low, okay? And the reasons you might have had this are like you might have had twins, you might have placenta previa, you might have had like the way the baby was positioned, like they couldn't reach part of your uterus, any of those things. There's a bunch of reasons, but you can potentially still be a candidate for a VBAC. It's just like not as likely that you would be. Last is a classic high vertical incision, and this is like not as frequently used apparently, but it is still used in some situations, and this pretty much rules you out from a VBAC because you're cutting into like the upper muscular part, like the higher up in the uterus, and your chances of uterine rupture go up to 4 to 9%. So like 10 times more likely to have uterine rupture, and it like usually rules out a VBAC. So this is what I learned in my research, and I hope it was helpful.